Hello students, welcome to the new chapter that is on the energy storage for the electric and hybrid electric vehicles. Right, in the previous videos we saw about the introduction of the HEVs and EVs, and we saw about the different drivetrains, or we can say the different layouts of the electric vehicle as well as the hybrid electric vehicles. So in the case of the energy storage, the main or basic energy storage that we are going to talk about is the batteries, and also we will see about the alternate energy sources that can supply the electricity as well. So first, before starting this chapter, we will have to discuss about the requirements of the energy storage in the case of the electric vehicles and hybrid electric vehicles. So these are the energy storage requirements or the factors that needs to be kept in mind while we are choosing the energy storage for the HV and EV. Now, whenever we talk about HV, that is hybrid electric vehicle, and EV will be our electric vehicle, right? That is very simple. So first, the requirements are, first thing is the specific energy, right? The specific energy denotes the range of our vehicle, right? The higher the specific energy, the higher will be the range of our electric vehicle. And the second thing is the specific power, that will denote the power that will be developed by the help of our energy storage system. So these two will always be the basic factors for selecting the battery. If we are selecting higher specific energy, then the range will be higher, and if we are selecting the higher specific power, then range will be lower but the power will be higher. Next is the efficiency of the battery, how much power will be generated from the supplying source. The maintenance requirement, right? The maintenance should be as low as possible, right? The vehicle maintenance or the battery maintenance will not be feasible to be done at very regular intervals, right? So maintenance requirement should be kept as a requirement during the selection of energy storage. Next, the management, right? The energy storage management will have to be done properly. It has to be managed. The number of battery packs are there, it has to be kept properly, it has to be connected with each other, and the power needs to be supplied whenever required. So the whole management needs to be kept in mind whenever we are selecting energy storage. Next is the cost, right? The cost will always be there, how much life the battery is giving, and the cost of that battery at initial stage. If we want to replace the battery, then the cost will also be a factor as well. The environmental adaptation to the environment, the adaptation of the battery should be proper. Depending on the different conditions, the battery should operate properly, and the efficiency or the battery capacity should not reduce depending on the environmental conditions. And the friendliness and safety of the battery. The battery should be safe, and it should not be very toxic for any human being, and it should be friendly with the other components as well. Whichever components we are using, it should not have any problem of using with them. So these are the basic requirements for the energy storage in the case of HEV and EVs. Next thing is the specific energy comparison, right? The specific energy that different source have for different vehicles. You can see the nominal energy densities that have been given here in the unit of the watt hour per kg, right? You can see here that gasoline, diesel and biodiesel have more than 10,000 watt hour per kg specific energy. You can see here one interesting thing, that the maximum specific energy is generated by hydrogen. You can see almost it is 3 times to the gasoline, that is 33,000. Right, so that much of energy can be generated with the help of hydrogen, and small amount of hydrogen can generate lot of energy. But the only problem of the hydrogen is that the storage is very much complicated. If a small amount of the high pressure hydrogen is leaked from that storage, then a high blast is created. Right, so it is not feasible to have the hydrogen stations such as the petrol stations. Right, you cannot store this much amount of hydrogen at one place. Right, it will create a very much big blast. Right, now you can see last 3: lead acid, lithium polymer, and flywheel, that is carbon fiber, that is an energy source as well. The specific energy of all these 3 is very much low, that is only around 200-100. Right, so we need to use number of battery, that is battery pack, to get an energy amplification and to get the higher range on the vehicle. So this is how the specific energy works comparing to our petrol engine and to our electric vehicle. The battery based energy source. Right, now we are talking about the battery. So simply what happens in the battery is that one is a cathode, one is an anode. One is negative electrode, one is positive electrode. So during the discharge of the battery, or whenever we are using the electric power from the battery, the discharging effect is happening. In the case of the discharging effect, the electrons from the negative electrodes will be transmitted to the positive electrode. Right, and this is how the electrolysis process works, and the electricity will be generated. During the charging process, the opposite of this work, the electrons that went towards the positive charge, that will come back to the negative electrode, and the charging of the battery will happen. So this is how discharging and charging of the normal battery will work. There will also be one more component between this component, that is known as the separator. You might have learned about this separator in the subject, that is in the previous semester of automobile electrical and electronics. Right, so that separator works as a bridge between this negative and positive electrode, and it will help to not get in touch with 2 of the electrodes, otherwise short circuit will happen. The separator will have a porous material from which the electrons can be transferred. Right, so this is how a simple battery principle works. There are number of batteries that can be used in the case of the electric vehicles, that we will see in the details, but this is the basic principle of how the battery works. These are the battery parameters that will be used, or that will be kept in mind for the analysis of the battery. First thing is the battery capacity, how much capacity the battery have, how much the voltage and current it can supply. Second thing is the open circuit voltage. When the circuit is open, then how much voltage the battery can generate. Next is the terminal voltage. When all the connections is completed, then the output of the voltage, that will be the terminal voltage of the battery. Next is the practical capacity, which is the actual capacity which the battery can generate during the working condition. Right, there is always difference between theoretical, that is battery capacity, and the actual, that is practical capacity, and that will be defined by the practical capacity. The discharge rate, at which rate the vehicle battery is getting discharged, and that discharging condition will be important for selecting the power that will be generated by the battery, and the charging system that is required for the battery as well. State of charge. During the state charge, the state and how much charge is there in the battery, that needs to be checked. Battery energy, the energy, or we can say this total energy that the battery can supply. The specific energy that we already discussed, that the energy that battery can supply, that will decide the range of our vehicle. And the last thing is the specific power of the battery, and that specific power of the battery will decide the total power that will be generated by the help of the electric vehicle. These are the different types of the batteries that we are going to understand. The first is the lead acid battery, that is valve regulated lead acid battery. Second is the nickel based batteries. In that there are three types: nickel cadmium, nickel zinc and nickel MH. Next is the metal air batteries. In that case zinc air and aluminum air batteries are used. Sodium beta, in that case sodium sulfate and sodium nickel chloride, right? These are the batteries. And the last one is the ambient temperature lithium type batteries. In that lithium polymer and lithium ion batteries is generally used. As all might know that the battery that is widely used in wide electric vehicle apparatus, or we can say a wide number of electrical vehicles, is the lithium ion battery. Like the lithium ion battery has an optimum specific energy that is required for our vehicle. The life of lithium ion battery is better as well, and also the cost and the replacing cost is comparatively lower. So generally the lithium ion batteries are being used in the case of our vehicles, right? So in this videos we saw about the basics of the energy storage that is required in case of our electric vehicles and also hybrid electric vehicles. We saw about the batteries that is being required. We saw also difference of specific energy between petrol and our electric batteries, and we saw the classification of the batteries that we are going to study, right? So from the next lecture we will start of studying these batteries one by one. Until then, thank you so much.